I screamed, not once, not politely. I screamed until my throat burned. Yes, until fear turned into urgency. That day, I learned one of the greatest, lessons of my life. Since that day, I've learned to pause before applying. That's the story that I have to share with you today. I know this story is all about when I fell into the well, but the many are people who are falling into the well of life and they never survive. I hope that will never be experienced.
Exceptional. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. But I tell you today, life will not be pop-up. For some people it's smooth and some people it's rough. Some people are good, but some have had enough. For you come, gather, maybe talking matter will matter, but not on a letter. It's with Emmanuel, yeah, on a podcast and with the people who are exceptional. You get the story, I get the story. But you were chosen for your own story. Cause you're exceptional, survivor, achiever, believer. Because here you conquer, here we talk about stories, true life stories, where you're gonna learn from many categories. Stay tuned and hear or share your own story, so we all learn and share together.
We are exceptional, and from the ground we rise. Fight for the freedom strong, long before the we survive. Share our story, life from mine. It's not about a fight for when it goes wrong. It's not about a fight, yeah, what does that? Everybody know that experience life. We all survive and all is strong, and we are exceptional.
Welcome to the Exceptional Being podcast.
Welcome to the Exceptional Being podcast. My name is Emmanuel Olatunji, aka Iga, the Exceptional Being. Yes, this is my podcast and I'm delighted to have you here. Of course, this is the first episode of this podcast. And trust me, I am so elated because this podcast is very necessary in our world today. I believe that a podcast like this is fundamental for us as humans. Why? Because this podcast is all about sharing authentic stories. And of course, as you know, stories are part of our existence. Stories are part of life. There is no man on earth today that doesn't have a story. Everyone has a story to tell. And this podcast is here for you, to share your story. So it's not just all about me sharing my story, but it's all about, sharing authentic stories. So this podcast, is a platform for you, even if you want to share your own authentic story. And it's also a platform, where you get to listen to real and true authentic story. And yes, I'm going to be starting by sharing my own story. And trust me, the story I have to share with you today, it's an interesting one, and it's such a story that you are definitely going to learn from. All right. So this is all about stories, beautiful, amazing, authentic story. Of course, some of them, will be very painful. Some of them will be emotional. Some of them you're like, wow, are you for real? Just like the story I'm going to be sharing with you today. Yeah, it's going to kind of, maybe scare you a little bit and you'll be wondering, is this really true? Trust me, everything I share on this platform is true. And every story I bring your way will definitely be a true story, just like the story I'm going to be sharing with you. But of course, it's not just all about sharing story. I believe that even by sharing your story, there are lessons, that you're definitely going to learn. And there are lessons that other people can learn from your story. And so, yes, on this podcast, you'll be hearing true stories, but also you'll be learning real and practical lessons that you can apply to your life. And yes, that's exactly what I'll be doing today. So are you ready? Okay, so trust me, you are definitely going to love the story that I'll be bringing to you. But before I start the story, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, now this is the right time to subscribe. This is the right time to subscribe because I'm not going to start the story until you subscribe to this channel. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe right now. Have you done that? Okay, good. I trust that you've done that. So follow me as I share my story with you. When I fell into the well, it didn't happen because I was reckless. It happened because I was doing something ordinary. I was spreading socks. The rope for spreading clothes was stretched across, the well, the same way it had always been. I had done it countless times without even thinking. But that day, I had wanted to reach just a little further so the socks wouldn't touch, each other. I climbed the low wall of the well, steadying myself, confident in my balance. But guess what? Confidence can be loud, and danger is often quiet. So guess what? My foot slipped. There was no warning, no time to adjust. One moment I was reaching forward, the next I was falling backward into a space that felt too small to catch me and too deep to forgive me. It didn't sink when I hit the water. No, I didn't sink when I hit the water. That surprised me, even till today. But guess what? As I fell into the well, it splashed all over, and it kept me afloat. And my heart was pounding louder than the echo bouncing off the walls. The well wasn't as silent as I imagined it would be. It answered every movement, every breath, and every fear. I screamed, not once, not politely. I screamed until my throat burned. Yes, until fear turned into urgency. My voice climbed up the walls faster than I could. And guess what? I heard footsteps. A man, a man's voice followed, calm but alert, asking where the sound was coming from in the moment. Hope didn't arrive as a miracle. It arrived as a human being. He lowered a belt and spoke to me, steadying my panic, mode before steadying my body. I held on, hands trembling, muzzle protecting as, he pulled and guided me up. Getting out wasn't graceful, it was desperate, messy, and determined. But I came out, soaked, shaking, alive. As I sat there catching my breath, the socks still hanging on the rope above the well, I realized something that has stayed with me ever since. Life doesn't always pull you into deep places, because of great mistakes. Sometimes it is the small, careless moments, the things you've done 1,000 times that teach you the biggest lessons. That day, I learned one of the greatest, lessons of my life. Since that day, I've learned to pause before I climb. That's the story that I have to share with you today. I know this story is all about when I fell into the well, but within the lines of this story are lessons that you need to take from. So, number one, you need to look well before you climb. And as you are climbing, you need to be careful. What are you climbing on? In life, many people are just obsessed about reaching further, getting the next gig, doing the next thing, just trying to get the next goal, but they are not looking upon what they are standing on. They are not looking at the ground that they are standing on. And before you know what, they will fall into the deep, into the ditch. That was what happened many years ago to me. And that's why I am sharing this story with you. So as you are, pursuing the next gig, pursuing the next goals, trying to achieve the next big thing, take a pause, look carefully, examine your surroundings, examine what you are standing on so that you are not going to fall into the deep well. Well, for me, I was rescued. For me, I was saved. But the many are people who are falling into the well of life and they never survive. I hope that will never be your experience. That's what I have to share with you. What are the other lessons? Because I believe that there are so many other lessons. Personally, I can bring out many other lessons from this story, but I don't want it to just be me. I want to know the lessons that you are also able to pick from this story that I've shared with you. So please drop the lesson that you've learned in the comment section below. I want to read from you, and trust me, I want to have communication with you. I want to hear from you. I want to read from you. You are the only one that can keep encouraging me to keep doing this podcast, because trust me, it's not easy. It's not easy to come here to share your story. Not everyone find it easy to share their story. So imagine sharing story that has happened decades ago with you, all because of I want you to learn, all because of I want you to be entertained and to learn lessons from this. So only thing you can do, to keep me going forward is to engage me and subscribe to my channel and share this video to your friends and loved ones. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is Emmanuel Olatunji, aka Iga, the exceptional being. Bye for now.